You can make a difference. You can give hope to a child. You can change a life. And that is no small change.
Welcome to One-on-One. My name is David Staal.
And I'm Chris Reinsma. Dave, I'm so excited because we have some new mugs sitting on our table.
Yes,
and I
we
have
do.
one right here from the Crossroads of America. I was recently down in Marion, Indiana with a group of directors, and they furnished me with this beautiful mug. So thank you, Indiana, for that. And you have one on your side of the table, too.
Yeah, you know, Chris, Indiana's my home state, so
Amen to
that's
that.
great to see that. But my second home is Fort Worth, Texas, and that's where we have a mug from Fort Worth and the Starbucks Coffee Company down in Fort Worth, Texas. So thank you, Lise and Kathy and everybody down in Fort Worth. And Chris, we have a bonus mug this week.
We do.
From Allendale, Michigan, right nearby, and Eileen and her program. Thank you for this mug that clearly articulates hope. So we're putting it front and center this time, Chris.
And you know, Dave, I'm excited about this issue because it has such an intriguing title. It's called Reality Check, No Child is Perfect. And I think we would all agree with that statement, but what do we mean by that, reality check, no child is perfect?
Well, Chris, a lot of times when you start working with kids, and I'm very typical, you have this angelic expectation that you're going to have this cute, warm, fun, friendly, loving kid that you get to get together with because that's who we tell stories about all the time and all that.
Absolutely.
But the reality is this, that no child is perfect, and as mentors, we need to expect that some things are going to happen, some other things aren't going to happen, and some things are going to be just a little bit off of what we would like to have happen.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about today, Chris.
Right.
And, you know, rather than us just going ahead and explaining it, Chris, has there been any research on this? What do experts tell us about this?
Actually, yeah, there's some great stuff from the University of Minnesota, and they really came up with 8 reasons why kids don't always act the way we think that they should. And so I just want to walk through those real quick. The first is just simply kids might misbehave to get attention, you know, and so they're not getting what they want, and they think this is the only way that they're going to be able to get attention. So attention-getting behavior. Second is they're imitating. So maybe at home, maybe a brother, maybe a sister, older siblings, folks on the playground, they're just imitating things they see. That's a second reason. A third would be that they're testing, just to kind of see where the boundaries are. And again, part of that's normal for them to test. And it's also normal as they grow up to want a little more independence, and so to try some things out, and I think that part is normal as well. Sometimes they might not do as we expect when they feel threatened, and I know a lot of our kids grow up in places where they do feel threatened from time to time. A sixth reason is that they might be feeling poorly about themselves, and so some of their behavior indicates that they're not feeling good about themselves. And then the last 2, I think, are ones that we see a lot of, where kids might be tired, they might be hungry, they might be sick, and when you're not feeling well, you don't always do as well in social situations.
Sure.
I know that's true for me even as an adult. And finally is that kids don't always understand the expectations that we have for them. And we may think that we've made it really clear about how they should behave and what they should be doing, but it's not always so, that sometimes kids just don't understand the expectations we have for them. Dave, as we've looked at those 8 reasons, I know that a lot of reasons come into us that are very common from mentor-mentee relationships. And one of the things that we hear a lot about is a situation where kids just don't seem very thankful for what they're given. Can you explain a little bit about what might be going on for a child who's not thankful?
Sure. I'd like to thank my mom for calling in that question to begin
Mrs.
with.
Staal. Fantastic. Good
Because,
to hear from you.
Chris, that's an issue that every kid has as far as thankfulness, because we are not born with an ability to express thanks real well.
Right.
That is a learned activity in a child's life. And so what happens is a lot of times kids have not been taught how to be thankful and how to appreciate.
Right.
And so as a mentor, it's okay to model that, number one. In fact, you should model thankfulness yourself. Be thanking your child when he or she does something. Thank the school secretary. Thank other people while your child is watching, number one. And number 2 is it's also okay to press pause during your hour and say, hey, you should be saying thanks for that. you should be appreciating that, because as your reasons listed, sometimes they just don't know how. They don't know how to express it. They don't know when to express it. And you can help prompt a child towards thankfulness by pressing pause and just saying, now would be a great time to be thankful.
So you're really role modeling it and really teaching it, and it's not necessarily something that you're just going to teach one time, is it? I mean, this is spread out over a period of time.
Yeah, it's over a long haul, and in fact, just this past week, my child that I get together with and I both worked on a project where we were writing a thank you note to the person who organized our Kids Hope bowling party.
Okay.
But guess what? Just because we did the one note doesn't make him a real thankful kid yet.
Right.
Or a real thankful guy like me.
You're right.
What it means is that we need to do it over time.
Sure. Another thing, Dave, we hear a lot of is kids who might cheat at games. There's kind of an honesty problem. What's happening there?
Yeah, thank you, Mrs. Reinsma, for calling in
Yeah,
that question.
that's right. I won that battleship game.
Well, Chris, in our society today, in the world that kids live in, it's a win or lose, and actually win is the only option life that they lead. When you look at video games, losing isn't an option. It's always winning. It's always getting to the next level. And there's this high priority on winning at all costs that kids absorb. And so when they come to us, they're normal. That's normal for kids.
That's what they've internalized.
Exactly. So to help a child realize that it's okay to play a game and not have to win, and you cheat because you feel like you have to win. What happens is, as a mentor, you can pick games real carefully so that you can play by the rules. Explain the rules of the game and agree to them before you start playing the game. And then also make sure that you're modeling playing by the rules, playing fair and all that. And also, and this is one that a lot of people realize, but I'm not sure they understand how important it is. And that is, it's okay to let your child win when your child is playing by the rules, because when you do that, you can celebrate, hey, wasn't it fun to win by playing by the rules? It's always much more fun to win when you're playing the game right than if you're cheating.
Yeah. And Dave, would it be fair to say that some of our kids who have low self-esteem, that winning is almost more important to them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And realize, a lot of our kids come with low self-esteem. And so picking games, again, carefully so that you can let your child feel what it's like to win at something is good. And also feel what it's like to enjoy the community and the relationship building of playing a game together, because that's got a high value in it too.
Right.
But Chris, we don't often hear the words thank you. We don't often hear the words, I played by the rules. But boy, we do hear one word quite a bit, and a lot of people ask us this question: what about my child who says that everything is boring? We always hear that word boring.
Yeah, that word, I hear that in my house as well, that this is boring, I don't want to do that. And that's coming from a variety of different places. One of the reasons I think kids express that and say, this is boring, I don't want to do that, is because in some cases you're exposing them to things that are really brand new to them. As we've talked about in previous episodes, the kids are so involved in electronic media, and some of these things like reading a book, like sitting down and having a conversation, really are unfamiliar to them, and so they may at first kind of seem boring to them because it's new, they don't know how to take it. Another reason we hear that boring word is because kids, sometimes it might be code for something else in their life. Like, I want to say this is boring, but really what I'm saying to you is I'm afraid to try this because I don't want to look silly, I don't want to look stupid, and therefore I'm just going to tell you it's boring, I don't want to do it. And the final reason is that I think we have to remember the context that our students are growing up in, and we have to try to connect whatever we're trying to teach them or do with them back to that context. Let me give you an example from my own neighborhood. I live in the city, and there's a corner store that sells candy and different things. My kids absolutely love to go there. If I was teaching a lesson to a student from my neighborhood about making change or some kind of a math lesson, I would try to connect it back to, hey, if I was going to the corner store and I needed this much money, how would I do that? Which coins would I use? that's a way to connect that math lesson, maybe that boring lesson about quarters and nickels and dimes, back to something that's relevant to their life. And I think that's a way that we can kind of help boring actually become important in a child's life.
That makes a lot of sense. But Chris, what if I'm getting bored right now? Is there something that we could do right this moment?
Dave, if
to
you're
solve
bored,
that?
I think let's move on to the most exciting part of the one-on-one show, and that is where we spin the tumbler here, and we get somebody's name out of the tumbler. And Dave, when we do that, something really fun happens. And what is that?
Yeah, it's nowhere near boring. What happens is if Chris has selected your program, what happens is you have until March 14th, which is Monday, at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, to call us in the national office. And again, if your name was selected, your program name was selected, and you're the director, call us. You will win $100 worth of Kids Hope supplies. It'll be a $100 gift certificate that you can purchase all sorts of Kids Hope stuff with. So Chris, who is the lucky winner?
Without further ado, we have a winner. It's number 75, and that is the First United Methodist Church of Winfield, Louisiana. Director is Tammy Height. So Louisiana, brand new state for the winners.
Way to go, Tammy. You are the big winner. So if you're Tammy, get on the phone right now before Monday, March 14th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you know Tammy, tell her to go and watch this video, but somehow get Tammy to call us here in the national office by 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday, March 14th.
Dave, let's close out the program with a couple words from our experts. What did Dr. Roger have to say about this idea that no child is perfect?
Here's what Dr. Roger said. He said, life is a series of learning by trial and error. Let's save perfection for eternity.
There you go. That's a good one. And you know, Dr. Brandt had some similar thoughts about life. Working with children, expect the unexpected. Challenges are growing pains. So both of them sort of express the idea that, you know, part of life is just learning these things and working them out, making mistakes and correcting them along the way.
Yeah, it sure is. And Chris, as we understand that as a mentor, then we go into it without an expectation that our child is perfect. As a prayer partner, make sure you're praying for your mentor to go in there not expecting perfection and to pray through all the rough edges, because together, as a mentor and a prayer partner, you will make a difference in the life of a child. And we know over and over, Chris, thousands of times it happens that when two people get together and help a child, you change your life. And when you change your life,
that's no small change.
welcome to another episode of One-on-One. My name is David Staal.
And I'm Chris Reinsma. And today, Dave,
Chris,
I'm so...
Chris, wait. Is the lens cap still on?
I can't tell. I think it is.
It looks
No.
like... Is it?
La,
how do you tell?
la,
How do you tell?
la,
I can't...
la.
Oh, wait, it is.
Okay, get away. Okay, all right.